Coming at you full-fledged, it's your boy Regg with another video for y'all. Welcome YouTube, coming straight in. Hit that like button, man. Comment at the beginning and middle and the end of the video. Share for others to see. Subscribe if you're new and hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time I drop. And let's get straight into it. Now, being just 9 days removed from the Brooklyn Nets being swept in the first round to the Boston Celtics, and at least 2 games as recording this video for all 4 teams in the conference semis as of today, many television analysts, many content creators on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, whatever it is, are still asserting that Kevin Durant is still the best player in the world. Now, if you see my last video about the Boston Celtics sweeping the Brooklyn Nets, you would know like the historical significance of that loss. And you would know about the historical significance, the expectations, the teams, and all of that. So it goes without saying this is not true. Outside of 2017 and 2018, there was no realistic case for Kevin Durant as the best player in the world. Now, 2019, the best player in the world was Kawhi Leonard, as he won with the Toronto Raptors in that great playoff run. Then in 2020, it was reclaimed. The throne was reclaimed by the so-called king, LeBron James, as he won what many call Fugazi, Bubble, Mickey Mouse, Black Lives Matter, Disney World ring. He still won it, and therefore he was the best player in 2020. 2021, Giannis Antetokounmpo is now the best player in the world. He's the reigning best player in the world. So that goes without saying. But, of course, you have some outlier opinions who went even further as to saying, You have some outlier peers who went even further, saying, even with this all-time L Kevin Durant just took, he's still a top 20, top 15, and even top 10 player of all time. People are still saying that with this all-time flameout he just had. Now, y'all know me. Y'all know some people consider me a hater, but the people who really fuck with me and really listening to what I'm saying, y'all know that I'm not hated. And if I'm quote-unquote hating, I'm coming at the fan base. I'm not really coming at the person, you know what I'm saying? So, that being said, I got a question to all you KD fans. And it's the title of this video. If Kevin Durant is a top 20 player, then where do you rank John Havlicek? Now, if you follow me on Instagram at Regg, one word, I'm going to put that in the link description. It's always there on every video. Follow Regg also. I showed you my top 50. If you follow my page, I showed you my top 15 all-time great players. Now, to all you fans, you KD fans out there, you honestly believe Durant takes up one of those 5 remaining spots? You honestly believe that? Particularly over Hall of Fame Celtic small forward, over You think he takes? You realistically think that Durant takes one of those spots, occupies one of those last 5 spots over this Hall of Fame small forward as well? Now, what we're going to do is something similar in this video to what we did with the Stop the Conflation videos and the L Train Big O video. So we're going to start off, we're going to do a player comparison. We're going to do their rookies, their peaks, their pros and cons, the stats and accolades. So let's start off with the rookie season. We're going to kick it off right now with the rookie season between Kevin Durant and John Havlicek. Now, Kevin Durant, hold on. Let me log into my laptop real quick, if it let me. Alright, now, Kevin Durant, obviously, he was drafted into the NBA in the 2007 off season. In 2007-2008 season, he played 80 games where he averaged 20.3 points, 4.4 rebounds, 2.4 assists, 1 steal, almost a block a game, 43% shooting, 28% from 3, and 87% from the field. And he was awarded the Rookie of the Year. John Havlicek, on the other hand, was drafted in 1962. He also played 80 games and averaged 14.3 points per game, 6.7 rebounds, and 2.2 assists, where he was, at the end of the season, named to the 1962-63 All-Rookie team. So, John Havlicek does not have that over Kevin Durant, so I give the check to Kevin Durant. When it comes to rookie year, he had more points. He had a couple decimals more assists, but Havlicek was the better shooter, and he was the better rebounder, shooting efficiency-wise, and he was the better rebounder. But everything else, rookie of the year, scoring, free throws, it goes to KD. Now, let's go to peaks. Now, I consider Kevin Durant's peak from when he was 21 and when he joined. I consider people's peaks when they joined their first All-Star team. So for Kevin Durant, that was in 2009-2010 season. And for John Havlicek, his peak was Kevin Durant's peak is the 2009-2010 season to now, and John Havlicek's peak was when he first became an All-Star at age 25 in 1966, all the way into the ending of his career in 1978. So those are the players' peaks, and now we're going to compare their peak individual season and their peak team season when it comes to team success. Now, Kevin Durant's peak season individually was in 2014. His MVP campaign in 2014, where he averaged 32 points per game, 7.4 rebounds per game, 5.5 assists per game, and he also almost shot 50-40-90 with splits of 50% from the field, 39% from the three-point line, and 87% from the free throw line. Again, he won league MVP. His right-hand man at the time, point guard, Hall of Fame point guard Russell Westbrook, missed around 36 games. I think it was with a lower extremity injury. He won MVP. They maxed out in the Western Conference Finals, losing to eventual champions San Antonio Spurs in 6 games, 2-4. And yeah, that's Kevin Durant's best individual season compared to John Havlicek's, whose was in 1971. Hondo averaged 28.9 points per game, a career high in assists at 7.5 assists per game, as well as a career high in rebounds and 9 assists per game. And you know the interesting fact about that particular stat, his career high in rebounds was 9. His career high average in rebounds was 9 this 1971 season. And never in Kevin Durant's career has he averaged at least 9 rebounds a game at 6'10", all while John Havlicek is a 6'5" small forward. So that's 5 inches. That's 5 inches Kevin Durant has over. I don't think that's the actual term you go by. Inches? Is it inches? Well, Kevin Durant's significantly taller than Hondo, so that was my point. And he's never averaged at least 9 rebounds a game, so that has to be looked at as a slight against Kevin Durant, in my opinion. Yeah. Again, he averaged 28.9 points, 7.5 assists, 9 rebounds a game. And they did not make the playoffs this season. Havlicek was an all-star, but he didn't make the playoffs, as this was the beginning. This 1971 season, these were the beginning stages of Hondo being the absolute leader of the Boston Celtics, because, as we know, Bill Russell retired in 1969. So that whole dynasty was over. The 11 championships and 13 seasons, that run was over. So they were in the rebuild mode. They didn't make the playoffs. So I would have to give individual peak season, I would have to give that to Kevin Durant. So Kevin Durant has better rookie year, better individual peak over Hondo. I would give him that. Now, when it comes to team success, this is where it gets. This was my favorite part. Looking up on this video. Excuse me, y'all. I'm in my car right now, and this is trash. It's a damn trash truck right here. But yeah, let's keep going. Let me let my windows up real quick. Hold on. Anyway, now, this was the favorite part of my research doing this video, which was team success. Now, Kevin Durant, his best team, we all know, is the 2017 Golden State Warriors. They won 67 games, lost 15 games this season. Now, just to give y'all some context for the people who are new or the people who are forgotten, this Golden State Warrior team is a super team, and just a year prior, they won 73 games. And if you want to go even further, the year prior to that, they won another 67 games. So just in these past 3 years, this team in the regular season damn near won over 200 games. So, yeah, this team made a postseason record for the winningest team in postseason history, going 16-1, sweeping the Portland Trailblazers with Dame Lillard and CJ McCollum, sweeping the Utah Jazz with sophomore Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert off defensive liability in the playoffs. Rudy Gobert, the San Antonio Spurs, they swept the San Antonio Spurs, who they could have potentially lost to if enforcer, dirty-ass player Jaja Pachulia never injures Kawhi Leonard in Game 1 when they was up 23 before halftime. They swept that Spurs team. And then, I give them credit on this. They beat fellow super team, the Cleveland Cavaliers, in 5 games in the NBA Finals to cap off the season with a championship. Now, this team, while they did win one of the more uncompetitive finals in NBA history, that just goes to show how dominant they were. They had 3 of the greatest shooters of all time in the Splash Bros and Kevin Durant. This is outside. I said this in one of my previous Golden State Warriors videos. This team, outside of the Detroit Pistons and the Bulls in the 90s, is one of the few championship teams that won multiple championships. This was the beginning of that team winning multiple championships without a dominant big man. This is a top 10 team of all time, without a doubt. So I give them flack. Super team, 73 wins. This is a top 10 team for sure. Now, on the other hand, for my basketball aficionados, my basketball historians, some can say that this team, well, I wouldn't say it, but it's up there. Some people can say this team is one of the greatest teams ever, and it was the 1970. Hold on, let me make sure. Did I pick the right one? Was the 74, right? Yeah, it was the 1974 Boston Celtics, where they won 56 games in the regular season. In the first round, there were only 3 rounds at this time. In the Eastern Conference semifinals, they won in 6 games against the Buffalo Braves with top 20 all-time great center Bob McAdoo. In this conference finals, they would defeat the defending champions, New York Knicks. The defending champion New York Knicks. The Boston Celtics beat in a gentleman's sweep in the Eastern Conference Finals. And let's go back in the time machine, man. Let's go back in the time machine, because in my it's levels to it all video, when I was defining the 2 definitions to the word super team, I used the New York Knicks of the 70s as an example of what the first definition of a super team was. So, wow, that 2017 championship team, that 2017 Warrior championship team is a top 10 team of all time and beat a super team. This Celtics team beat a super team too. Beat the defending champion super teams and beat the defending champion super team as well. In 5 games in the conference finals. Which is crazy. That's so crazy to me. And you know what's even wilder? They did the same thing in the next round against the Bucks. They beat a defending, well, they weren't the defending champions then, but the Bucks did win the championship in 1971, which was just 3 years prior. And just to digress for a minute, I said this before, I'm going to say it again, the 1970s was the most competitive, 1970s had the most parity of any decade in NBA history, as there were only 2 teams to win multiple NBA championships being the Knicks in 70 and 73, and the Boston Celtics in 76, and this year 74. But again, the Boston Celtics defeat a former champion in the Milwaukee Bucks in 7 games. This is also a super team. This is with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Oscar Robertson, Bob Dandridge, who I believe is a top 75 player. I think Bob Dandridge is a top 75 player. And John McLaughlin. But to go back to that Knicks team, let's see all the people on that Knicks team. You had top 75 player Walt Clyde Frazier, top 75 player Willis Reed. If there was ever a role player or a 6 Man of the Year award at that time, Hall of Fame role player Phil Jackson. You had Jerry Lucas, top 75 player. That's 3 top 75 players. Earl Monroe, who should be a top 75 player, who's really a top 100 player. Well, if you want to speak literally, but who should be a top 75 player. Earl Monroe, that's like 5. That's damn near 4 top 75 players on one team, you feel me? So, yeah, they beat two former championship super teams in one playoff run. I just found this out today, and that is crazy. So, when it comes to all-time like greatness, I would give it to the Warriors. But at the same time, when it comes a degree of difficulty and historical significance, and the fact that they just beat 2 champs in the same playoff run, when it comes to team, and the fact that this wasn't a super team, and I just forgot about that. The Warriors was a super team, man. Damn self. I'm tweaking. Hell nah, bro. Yes, man. Yes, I gotta give it to Hondo on that. Bro. They didn't make the Celtics didn't make the playoffs for 3 years after Bill Russell retired. Hondo, with his former championship teammate, now head coach Tommy Heinsohn as his coach, with league MVP Dave Cowens, Rookie of the Year league MVP, top 15 all-time center Dave Cowens. They built this team up with some of the vestiges of that dynasty, and they built their own championship team, and in the process beat two championship super teams, and retired big old Oscar Robertson. People forget, I told y'all in the all-time leaders video, Oscar Robertson retired after the 1974 finals. So Hondo got that under his belt too. Hondo retired Oscar Robertson. John Havlicek retired a top 10 player, bruh. That gotta mean something. I top 10 team of all time. The playoff dominance, that's cool. It was a super team. They won 73 games the year before. The year before that, they won 67. They added Kevin Durant in the offseason. That's what they were supposed to do. I gotta give team success, and just off what was done before and what he did to build his own championship team, I gotta give team success. I gotta give that to John Havlicek. But off of team success and individual peaks, let's move forward to stats and accolades. Now, Kevin Durant has played 939 games in his 15-year career. Over his 15 years, he's averaged 27.2 points per game. That's definitely top 10 all-time PPG in NBA history. That's definitely top 10. I think he's like right in between Jerry West, Allen Iverson, and like Bron. He's like right in that area. They all like in that 27 range. He's one of the greatest scorers ever, of course. Averaged total rebounds of 7.1 rebounds per game. It's just like LeBron. Him and LeBron got something in common. They tall as hell and they can't rebound, bro. Neither of these players have averaged double digits of rebounds. As big as these modern players are, as fucking goofy ass people like to say, they bigger today than ever. But these two are big as hell. LeBron 6'9", Kevin Durant 6'10", never averaged. In KD's case, never averaged even 9 rebounds a game, but 7.1 rebounds a game. Decent passer at his position, above average passer, I say, at his position, at 4.3 assists. Shooting splits. Again, he's one of the greatest, most talented, efficient scorers ever. Shooting splits of 49% from the field all time. Almost 38.5% from 3 all time, and an 88.5% percentage all time from the free throw line. So those are his stats, and he has a win share career of 155.2. So those are his averages. Now, compared to Hondos, he's definitely a better scorer. He averages damn near 7 more points than Havlicek. Havlicek in a career 1,270 games averaged 20.8 points per game at 6'5". He maxed out at 9 rebounds a game, but in the career he averaged 6.3. That just goes to show his hustle. That was something he was widely famous for throughout his career. He was a better passer than Kevin Durant, averaging almost 5 assists a game at 4.8. For his time, this is actually pretty good. For his time, his field goal percentage was 43.9. And for that time, and the fact that he was a streaky scorer, he was a volume shooter. That's pretty damn good. And his free throw percentage at 81.5. Now, win shares, that also has to go to KD. KD has 155.2. John Havlicek has 131.7. So, when it comes to scoring efficiency, scoring capability, I got to get it to Kevin Durant. Rebounds, obviously Kevin Durant, as he's taller. But Durant, even if he's being taller, he's never got a career high of 9 rebounds a game, which John Havlicek has. But again, he's a better rebounder. John Havlicek's a better passer. Kevin Durant is more efficient, and he's a little more impactful when it comes to winning. And that's that's half true. And we're going to get into that in a minute. That's only half true. We're going to get back to that win shares in a minute. But those are the stats. That tells you a little bit of how these two players' comp is. Now, when it comes to accolades, Kevin Durant is a 12-time All-Star. Of course, back-to-back NBA champion and Finals MVP. As we spoke about earlier, 2008 All-Rookie, 2008 Rookie of the Year. He is a top 75 NBA player, 2-time All-Star Game MVP, 2014 League MVP, 9-time All-NBAs, and a 4-time scoring champion. Now, when you compare it to John Havlicek, who is, I think he passed away in 2019 or 2020, recently, a couple years prior, but his career's been done way longer. But even though all that was standing, Havlicek has one more All-Star appearance. He is He has 2 more All NBA selections with 11 compared to Kevin Durant's 9. He was a far, and this is where the disparity widens. This is where the disparity widens. Not only team success, but this as well. Because this is a whole other aspect of the game that people don't like to acknowledge when they mention Durant. He was a far superior defender at 6'5", being a 6'5" small forward. He made 8 all-defensive teams. Hondo, even if the award didn't exist when he was playing, he is probably one of the greatest players to never win Defensive Player of the Year, for sure. Top 75 player as well. 1963 All-Rookie. 1974 Finals MVP. Pretty sure he would have more Finals MVPs under his belt if the award existed. For most of his playing years, the NBA Finals MVP wasn't implemented until the 1969 season, and ironically enough, they gave it to Jerry West, who lost the series because he was white. But that's okay. It's cool. I'm just speaking facts. John Havlicek, 8-time NBA champion. 8-time NBA champion. This is where the disparity widens. Now, Kevin Durant, he can have his 2 Finals MVPs. He can have those. He deserved them. He deserves them. He earned them. He got the Finals too. He got a Finals MVP over Havlicek. But again, the award didn't exist during most of Hondo's playing years, and I could name a couple times where if that award existed during the Celtics dynasty in the NBA, Hondo would probably have at least maybe 3 or 4 Finals MVPs, because he got one of the greatest steals in Finals history. Go look up the Hondo John Havlicek final steal and go look that up. That's one of the greatest defensive plays in NBA Finals history. He would have won a couple of Finals MVPs. He only won 1. But, he would have had more if the award existed back then. He would definitely have took some of those Finals MVPs from Bill Russell. 8-time champion. And yeah, that's where the gap widens, you feel me? The gap widens there. Now, we got the stats and the accolades. Now, let's go to the cons and the falls. Now, Kevin Durant, we spoke on some of them. Kevin Durant is a very, skilled player, of course. But unlike a Giannis or a LeBron, he really don't take care of his body. And he really doesn't like that. He really don't like physicality. He like to get of his spots. He like to rise up, shoot over people, and get those easy shots. That's his style. But we just seen against Hondo's team, the Celtics. We just seen when you game plan, when you have a great defensive scheme for a player like that, he can be neutralized. And they were physical with him in the playoffs, where they allowed more physicality. So, the antidote is way more, I think the antidote for Kevin Durant is been seen to be what's the word? Effective throughout his career. Kevin Durant blew a 3-1 lead in 2016. Some can say the Thunder, while they were young, they really did have some chances to beat Miami in 2012 outside of some poor performances by Westbrook and James Chokton. They can say that also. They can say after you both blew a 3-1 lead, you joined the very team that beat you as you blew the 3-1 lead, and you became a bus rider, as Charles Barkley would say. You became a bus rider. Now, you make another super team years later with your best friend Kyrie Irving, as you were insecure and you couldn't accept the fact that you did join a super team and that super team would never be yours. You went there thinking that you were about to take someone's house from them. You were the cousin that was staying over for the summer, thinking he was finna get better treatment from the parents over their own kids, which is fucking nuts to me. Which is straight nuts to me. Then leaving that perfect situation where you could have won potentially 5 championships or even more, you leave because you couldn't accept those facts. You build another super team with Kyrie Irving and others, and then you fail to make the Western Conference Finals. These are all cons to Kevin Durant, and now Havlicek has cons as well. He's not a perfect player. Again, Havlicek was a volume shooter. I've said this several times on my channel, and you can go watch it if you check out some of my listings on my greatest positions ever. I did a top 10 point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and center list. You can check this where I made the comparison saying that Havlicek is the Boston Celtics version of Kobe Bryant, and that's valid. That's valid. From the perspective of these were two prodigies coming into their franchise who were eventually became the complementary player to their team's superstar center. They were volume shooters, and then when that superstar center either retired or left the franchise, they both had growing pains, missing the playoffs. Then with a couple of vestiges from all those older championship teams, they were able to build 2 championship teams of their own. So that's a comparison. I say again, that's a con of his. He's a volume shooter. He's like the Kobe Bryant version of the Boston. He's the Boston Celtics version of Kobe Bryant. And again, check my top 15. If I have Kobe number 12, and I just basically made the equivalence between him and Hondo, where does Hondo land? You feel me? But again, he was a volume shooter. Again, like Kobe, for most of his championships, he was a complimentary player. But at the same time, though, was Kevin Durant not a complimentary player? Did I not say Kevin Durant is an all-time great complimentary player with superstar skill? Was Kevin Durant not the bus rider of that team? Yes, he won Finals MVP. Yes, he took over in the finals. Yes, he had dominant finals. But that was to offset LeBron James. That's what the Warriors got Kevin Durant for. It was mutually beneficial. Kevin Durant could not win those championships if it wasn't for the Golden State Warriors. So while you can say Havlicek was the complimentary player for 6 of his 8 championships, like I just said before, if the Finals MVP existed when he was playing, he would have got at least 4 of them. He would have got at least 4. 3 or 4. He would have got at least 3 or 4. As the organic complimentary player. Now, was that Boston Celtics dynasty a super team? Yes, but that was the first definition of a super team. There was no free agency. The players they got, they kept, and they built a culture, and they kept winning. And he came into the culture. He embraced his role. He was a great complimentary player that turned into a superstar with his own. He was a superstar level complimentary player that turned into a superstar when he got his own, when his own team was built around him. So yeah, you can say that. That's a case. Yeah, you can say that. That's definitely true. He was a complimentary player, but he was a more organic complimentary player. He was a more successful complimentary player. You know what I'm saying? Outside of Golden State, Kevin Durant never reached the heights Hondo had in Boston with just being a complimentary, just being a compliment to Bill Russell. Let's take the 2 championships in the 70s out. Let's take the 2 championships in the 70s out. We can take the 2 championships in the 70s out that Havlicek won. Let's just talk about the 6 championships he won as a compliment to Bill Russell. And the fact that if the Finals MVP award existed during those times, he would have got probably like, out of those 11 championships, probably got like 3 or 4 of them as the complimentary player. That's crazy, right? That's crazy, right? And Kevin Durant, as a main guy, made 1 finals and couldn't make it again until he beat the very team that he lost to, blowing a 3-1 lead. Like, come on. All the help Hondo had from Dave Collins, Tom Heinsohn, Bob Cousy, Bill Russell, Sam Jones, Casey Jones, Paul Silas, JoJo White. Out of all those players, KD has had just as much, if not more. Now let me name them. Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Serge Ibaka, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Andre Iguodala, Sean Livingston, JaVale McGee, David West, Kyrie Irving, Blake Griffin, LaMarcus Aldridge, Patty Mills, Seth Curry, Gordon Dragic, Ben Simmons. All them players, KD and LeBron, those are the faces of the modern super team. I swear, I just named all those players. Outside of LeBron James, Kevin Durant probably has had some of the most help. Bill Russell made those teams. So you can't even say that. You can't even say Bill Russell had them. These are all established people. Kevin Durant had more help than John Havlicek. I will safely say that. I will firmly state that Kevin Durant has had more help than John Havlicek. He has just not succeeded with it. That's the main difference. Now, let's just add a little bit more details to the conversation, shall we? Like I said, Kevin Durant really don't like physicality. He isn't the most durable player. Hondo is the complete opposite. Hondo is durable. Now, he started his season, his rookie season, he averaged 27.5 points a game, which is a lot for a rookie. He averaged a lot of minutes for a rookie. He averaged 27.5 minutes a game as a rookie, but they would throughout his run as a compliment to Bill Russell in those dynasty days, he ranged from 27 all the way to 39 minutes a game through all those years, the dynasty years. But after Bill Russell retired and the 70s hit, from 70 to 74, it was a 5-year span where Hondo averaged multiple 40-point game. He had multiple 40-point minute per game seasons. In 70, he averaged 41.6 points a game. Minutes per game. In 71, he averaged his career high 45.4 minutes a game, 40.5.4 minutes a game. In 72, he played 45.1 minutes a game. In 73, he played 42.1 minutes a game. And in 74, he played 40.7 minutes a game. Now, let's just add some context to this. With all those deep playoff runs, all the physical anguish, all the mental anguish that those deep playoff runs, those 11 championships in 6 years, 11 championships in 13 years, and for Hondo, that 6 championships in almost 7 years, 8 years. They won 8 in a row, so how many did he win out of that? But my point is, 6 of those 11 championships for Hondo. And after he retires, after Bill Russell retires, he goes up in minutes. It makes even more deep playoff runs. That's nuts. In those 5 years, Havlicek averaged 43 minutes a game. Kevin Durant never averaged 40 minutes a game. His highest career average in minutes was 39 and a half. And that was his third season in the league. His second season on OKC. His only season playing all 82 games. How many 82 game seasons Havlicek have, you ask? He has 5. He has 5 82 game played seasons. And one of them was his last season at 37. And he has multiple 81 games played, 80 games played, 75 games played. He's never played under his whole career. John Havlicek, his whole 16-year career, he never played under 75 games a season. He never missed over 10 games. Now, I know the fans, the KD fanboys, the detractors still gonna say, "Oh, KD had career-altering injuries. He ruptured his Achilles. He had a foot injury back at OKC." I understand it. I get that. That's definitely a valid reason as to why KD couldn't average those minutes. But at the same time, Havlicek wasn't without his ailments. Havlicek had injuries. It's a way more physical league. He never missed 10 back then in the 60s and 70s. 73 was the fastest pace in the NBA history to this day. That's still the fastest pace of 73. He averaged how many minutes did he average in 73? He averaged 42.1. In 73, the fastest pace. I think looking up back when I made those lists on my highlights on my Instagram, I was doing research. I think Hondo, like I said, Hondo wasn't without his ailments. He had some kind of vital organ issue. It was either with his heart or with his lungs. And the fact that he was to average that many minutes with something wrong to one of his vital organs, that's crazy. That's crazy. We gotta acknowledge that he never missed 10 games a season. He never missed 10 games. Now, we gave Rookie of the Year. We gave the rookie season to KD. We gave individual peak to KD. We gave team success to Hondo. We gave defense to Hondo. We get production. We get production / durability / adaptiveness / adaptability to Hondo. We got championships to Hondo. We got all defensive team selections to Hondo. Considering that award wasn't even existing in some of the years that he was playing, and he still got 8 more than KD, that goes to show how far of a better defender he was. He got more All-Star appearances. He got more All-NBA selections. Kevin Durant got a Finals MVP. He got a league MVP. He got scoring titles. That's cool. But he also had a super team. He never got it out the mud. He never built it up on his own. Again, KD is 33 years old. So he has more to contribute to the game. However, after these past 2 seasons, not even making it to the Eastern Conference Finals, who knows where his all-time trajectory is headed, man. I had him at the beginning of the season. I had Kevin Durant a top 25 player. Not top 20, that's a little too high. Top 25, maybe. Top 25 at the highest. After last week and after all that shit he just pulled, I gotta have him now. I gotta have him top 25 at the highest, top 35 at the lowest. If y'all got him over, if y'all KD fans got him top 20, if y'all got him top 20, which I don't, you should be having Hondo around the top 15. I'm just saying for your list. I have my top 15. Hondo, I got to think about this. Top 20, I got my top 15. I would have to put the top 20. Got to put George Mikan in there. Got to put George Mikan in there. I don't care. They played in the 40s. He got 7 championships in total. He got 5 NBA championships. I don't care. He was the first big man. You got to put him in there. You got to put George Mikan in there. That's 16. You got to put the logo Jerry West in there. That's 17. You got to put Elgin Baylor in there. That's definitely... Elgin Baylor got a case being the greatest player to never win a championship. So, you got to put him 17. Elgin Baylor, John Havlicek, you got to put him in there. He's like 8-time champion, like Finals MVP, 2 on his own. Like, you got to be like 19. 20 probably got to be like... 20 got to be probably like... like Charles Barkley or like Karl Malone or something, like two-time MVP or yeah. Then when you get to the 25s, you got Karl Malone, you got Charles Barkley, you got David Robinson, you got those guys. So KD, bro, you might be top 30, honestly. I ain't even gonna cap. You might be low 25. You might be low 20s. But yeah, man, I don't want to make this video too long. I think it's already over an hour now. So yeah, what y'all think, man? Is Kevin Durant top 20 of all time? What do y'all rank him all time? Saying what I just said to y'all, if y'all didn't know about y'all Havlicek, where do y'all rank Hondo all time? Is the Celtics the greatest franchise in NBA history? That's a rhetorical question, but give me y'all thoughts on the Celtics projections after this game 2, man, in the comment section below. Please engage, bro. I think this is a good video, man. Let me know what y'all think. Hit that like button. Comment at the beginning, end, and middle of the video. Share for others to see. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time I drop. If there's a particular topic you want me to speak on, hit that pin link in the comment section below and donate to the Regg, man. And